From another potential pandemic to health threats infiltrating our daily lives, 2024 provided us with some warning signs. But we also saw stories with hard-earned moments of inspiration and innovation, reminding us of the relentless search for the next medical breakthrough. With more than 100,000 people on the wait list for organ transplants in the United States, there is a clear need for a solution. And this could be the answer.
They're fully edited. All these piglets can carry a total of 69 edits to their genome.
Genetically edited pigs, designed by scientists to be compatible with the human body, reducing the possibility of rejection. Scientists have started to make progress testing this type of organ transplant. It's known as xenotransplantation. They're doing this into patients who have no other alternatives. As temperatures around the world keep climbing, it's taking a clear toll on our health, testing the limits even of human survivability. This year, people hiking, attending concerts, just being in their own homes, they have died from heat. In fact, heat is the deadliest type of extreme weather, and climate change is making those heat waves longer and more severe. Heat also means warmer oceans, leading to these supercharged hurricanes like the ones that we saw this year, and that comes with their own health consequences as well. Imagine using a computer by only using your mind. That's just the beginning of what brain-computer interface, or BCI technology, combined with artificial intelligence, is now hoping to do. Companies like Synchron and Elon Musk's Neuralink, they have begun implanting BCI devices into people's brains to help people who are losing motor function still be able to perform daily tasks. Earlier this year, I met Mark. He's an ALS patient who has mostly lost the ability to use his arms. And we saw firsthand how Synchron's Stentro device helps send messages on his computer and even play a game like Pong. He hopes this technology can help him, can help other patients struggling as well with paralysis maintain as much independence as possible.
I was 43 years old at the time when I was diagnosed.
A growing number of young adults, like Timothy Mitchell, are being diagnosed with cancer.
Cancer, which usually would affect people over 65, has now become much more prevalent in patients under 55.
While the trends have been headed this way for more than a decade, experts still aren't sure why this is happening. But it has put a spotlight on the importance of recommended preventative screenings, paying attention to any unusual symptoms in your body, and a search for factors that could be behind this increase.
A new study shows an increase in levels of microplastics in human brains.
Microplastics, they are everywhere nowadays. They're in our food, they're in our clothing, they're in the air we breathe. And now we're starting to get a better understanding of their potential impact on our health. There was a study that found people with micro or nanoplastics in their carotid arteries were twice as likely to have a heart attack or stroke or die from any other cause over the next 3 years compared to people who had none. If you're a parent, I know you're going to understand this.
48%, nearly half of parents, are saying on most days they are completely overwhelmed by their stress.
This summer, the U.S. Surgeon General, Dr. Vivek Murthy, issued an advisory calling parental stress a public health concern, saying that we need a cultural shift with both individual and government intervention. Parents are working more than ever, and childcare demands have only increased, leaving many families feeling exhausted, burned out, perpetually behind. That's what Murthy said. It's no secret that diet plays a major role in our health, and while we know the benefits of healthy food, the harms of ultra-processed food are now coming into clearer focus. Ultra-processed foods make up nearly 70% of our country's food supply. Numerous studies have found that consuming higher amounts of these foods raises the risk of obesity, but also the development of chronic conditions like cancer, cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, depression. It probably even shortens lifespan. Researchers are now trying to figure out if ultra-processed ingredients are all created equal. An alarming spread of bird flu throughout dairy herds across the United States has scientists on edge.
As we think about a virus that might move from animals into humans and potentially cause the next pandemic, it certainly has everyone's guard up.
While the CDC says the public health risk remains low, there have been cases of bird flu in humans.
The CDC is now confirming the first severe case of H5N1 bird flu in a human inside the United States.
Most human cases have been among people who've been exposed to sick animals, but that hasn't completely eased the fears of possibility of human-to-human transmission. There may be more hope for Alzheimer's patients than ever. A new study led by Dr. Dean Ornish found that some patients who underwent lifestyle interventions alone, like eating a vegan diet, exercising daily, practicing stress reduction, they saw improved cognition, even signs of reversal of the disease. I got to see this firsthand, meeting patients all over the country.
This is the best I can do to stay alive. And I want to live with my wife as long as I can.
We also did see promise in newly approved pharmaceutical interventions, including monoclonal antibody treatments, donanemab for example, demonstrating the ability to slow the progression of the disease. You know, for decades we only saw incremental progress in treating this disease, but now I have to say these options are giving patients new hope. This year we traveled around the world investigating the impact of the GLP-1 weight loss drugs. With no signs of slowing in popularity now, these drugs have given us new insight into obesity as a disease.
What it did help me was not have a whole lot of thoughts about food. My cravings went away.
We now consider obesity a disease of the brain, a revelation that I think has lifted a sense of guilt associated with this disease, helped us get to a better understanding of how to treat it as well.
It's definitely true that there are people out there who've said time and again, obesity is not really a disease. All you need to do is eat better and exercise more and you'll be okay.
While these drugs may not be for everyone, we have seen how they can transform people's lives. Physically, yes, but also emotionally. We've only at this point begun to unlock the possibilities. Studies have found that these drugs could be associated with cardiovascular benefits, lowering the risk of certain cancers, curbing cravings as well beyond food, like nicotine and alcohol. And I'm sure we're going to continue to learn a lot more about this in 2025. Happy New Year.